Imagine waking up one day and realizing that your mind is no longer your own, that every thought, every impulse, every distraction is being controlled not by you, but by the endless noise around you. The buzzing phone, the flashing screens, the constant pressure to react. In a world where silence is rare, most of us have forgotten its power. But what if I told you that the strongest minds in history, people like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, knew a secret that most people ignore, that true strength, real wisdom, and unshakable focus don't come from doing more, but from doing less, from choosing silence over noise, stillness over chaos, and focus over distraction. The ancient Stoics understood something that modern society has forgotten. You don't have to react to everything. You don't have to speak just to be heard. You don't have to chase every impulse. Instead, you can train your mind to cut through the noise and master what truly matters. Think about it. How often do we speak just to fill silence? How often do we let distractions steal our attention, dragging us away from our goals? We scroll endlessly. We reply instantly. We react emotionally. But do we ever pause? Do we ever reflect? Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." True power isn't in controlling the world, it's in controlling your mind. And that begins with cutting out mental clutter, speaking less, and focusing more. So today, we're diving deep into 7 life-changing benefits of thinking less, speaking less, and focusing more. These are not just life hacks. These are profound principles that can transform the way you live, think, and succeed. 1. Sharper mental clarity. Your mind is a weapon. But like any weapon, it dulls when neglected. When you flood it with distractions, mindless scrolling, constant notifications, endless noise, you weaken its edge. Your focus fractures. Your thoughts become sluggish. Your ability to make sharp, decisive choices fades into hesitation and confusion. But when you strip away the distractions, when you take back control of your attention, that's when the fog lifts. When you stop cluttering your mind with distractions, your thoughts become clearer. Think about it. How often do you actually sit with your own thoughts? In silence, without reaching for your phone, without filling every spare moment with entertainment. Most people are terrified of that kind of stillness. But within it lies power. When your mind is no longer pulled in 100 different directions, it can finally do what it was designed to do. Think. Focus improves. You make better decisions. No more second guessing. No more hesitation. Your brain stops feeling like a cluttered room filled with useless junk and becomes a sharp, focused instrument. You start recognizing patterns faster. You analyze situations with precision. Instead of reacting to life, you begin controlling it. And the best part? It compounds. Day by day, your mental discipline strengthens. You become the kind of person who can sit down and work for hours without distraction, who can read, learn, and retain information with ease, who can stay calm and collected even in the face of chaos. And suddenly, problems that once seemed complicated become simple. The obstacles that used to overwhelm you, you start seeing solutions instead of roadblocks. The stress that once clouded your mind, it fades as clarity takes its place. Because when your mind is sharp, everything else follows. And it all starts with a simple decision: to reclaim your focus. 2. Greater inner peace. Most people don't realize how much noise they carry inside their own heads. It's not just the external distractions, the buzzing phone, the endless notifications, the background chatter. It's the internal noise, the overthinking, the stress, the endless cycle of worries about the past and the future. And that's why they never feel at peace, because their mind is never still. Silence is a sanctuary. Peace isn't something you find, it's something you create. It's a choice. And that choice begins when you stop letting the world dictate your thoughts, when you stop filling every spare moment with stimulation and learn to be comfortable in stillness. Because stillness isn't emptiness, it's clarity. When you learn to quiet your mind, you become less reactive. Instead of jumping at every little irritation, you learn to pause, to breathe, to see things for what they are, rather than what your emotions make them seem. The same situations that once triggered stress or frustration, they no longer shake you, because you are in control. The outside world can be chaotic, but you don't have to be. Less anxious, less consumed by the chaos around you. When your mind is calm, you stop being a prisoner to stress. You don't feel the need to constantly explain yourself, argue, or prove anything. You move through life with a quiet confidence, unshaken by the noise. You realize that most things people stress over, opinions, drama, small inconveniences, don't actually matter. And instead of getting lost in that nonsense, you stay focused on what does. You start experiencing life instead of just responding to it. Instead of constantly reacting to things outside your control, you begin to choose how you engage with the world. You stop rushing, stop overthinking, stop letting distractions steal your energy. You start appreciating the quiet moments, the deep conversations, the simple joys that most people overlook because they're too busy being overwhelmed. And that's real freedom, not just from stress, but from everything that was never worth your time in the first place. 3. Deeper wisdom. The world is filled with noise, people talking, arguing, complaining, giving opinions on things they barely understand. But true wisdom isn't found in constant chatter, it's found in listening. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Think about it. How often do you stress over things that never actually happen? How much time do you spend replaying past mistakes or fearing future problems that may never come? Your mind creates more suffering than reality ever could. But when you slow down, when you observe instead of react, you begin to see things clearly. Most of our worries come from overthinking. Wisdom isn't just about knowledge, it's about perspective. And perspective comes from paying attention to yourself, to others, to the patterns in life that most people overlook. When you speak less and listen more, you start to notice the things that truly matter. When you speak less and listen more, you gain insight. You understand people better. You become wiser. You stop reacting emotionally and start understanding why people act the way they do. You begin to see through deception, recognize hidden motives, and read between the lines. This ability to observe, to analyze, to understand, that is wisdom. And wisdom gives you an edge in everything you do. 4. Self-control people like to think they're in control of themselves, but watch how quickly they react to a rude comment, how easily they snap when something doesn't go their way. Most people are slaves to their impulses, whether it's anger, distraction, cravings, or bad habits. The more you resist the urge to react instantly, the stronger your discipline becomes. Self-control isn't about suppressing emotions, it's about mastering them. It's about choosing how and when you respond instead of being controlled by your feelings in the moment. When you pause before reacting, you gain power, and discipline, more than motivation, is what leads to lasting success. Motivation is fleeting, it's unreliable. Some days you'll feel inspired, other days you won't. But discipline, the ability to do what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel, is what separates winners from everyone else. And discipline starts with self-control. Every time you resist a distraction, every time you choose patience over impulsiveness, every time you control yourself instead of letting emotions control you, you become stronger. 5. Stronger communication skills. Most people talk too much and say too little. They fill the air with words but never truly communicate. They don't think before they speak, and as a result, their words lose impact. Speaking less doesn't mean staying silent forever. It means choosing words with precision. When you cut out unnecessary speech, every word you say starts to matter. People stop tuning you out and start listening. They recognize that when you speak, you have something worth hearing. When you speak less, people listen more. Your words carry weight. Think of the most powerful leaders, thinkers, and warriors in history. They weren't the ones who spoke the most. They were the ones who spoke with purpose. When you master the art of saying only what is necessary, your communication becomes more effective, more respected, and more commanding. 6. Boosted productivity. If you could see how much of your time is wasted on unnecessary thoughts, distractions, and meaningless conversations, you'd be shocked. The human brain is powerful, but most people don't use it efficiently. Imagine how much more you could accomplish if you weren't constantly distracted. Focus is a superpower in a world filled with distractions, and yet most people sabotage their own focus by overthinking, multitasking, or constantly seeking entertainment. The secret to extreme productivity isn't working harder. It's removing everything that slows you down. Thinking less about unnecessary things gives you more time and energy to focus on what truly matters. When your mind isn't cluttered with nonsense, your ability to execute improves. You finish tasks faster. You make clearer decisions. You waste less time hesitating and more time doing. Success isn't about being busy, it's about being focused. And focus is a skill that can be trained. 7. True freedom. Most people think freedom means having money, time, or the ability to do whatever they want. But true freedom isn't external, it's internal. It's the ability to control your own mind, to be unaffected by distractions, fears, and outside influences. Most people are prisoners of their own minds. They are controlled by their fears, their anxieties, their past mistakes. They live reacting to every little thing, never realizing that they're chained, not by the world, but by their own thoughts. They are controlled by thoughts, fears, and external noise. Real freedom begins when you stop being controlled by emotions, by urges, by the opinions of others. When you can face any situation with calmness, when you don't let the world dictate how you feel, that is freedom. But when you master your thoughts, you become truly free. No more overthinking, no more emotional outbursts, no more being a puppet to distractions and fears. Instead, you move through life with intention, with control, with power. And once you reach that level, nothing can stop you. So now, I ask you, which of these benefits do you crave the most? Sharper focus? More inner peace? Better communication? Drop a comment below and tell me, what's one area in your life where you'd like to apply this philosophy? Let's start a conversation. And if you've made it this far, you're already different. Most people quit, get distracted, move on. But you're seeking growth, and that's rare. So if you found this valuable, I have a simple, free favor to ask. Hit that subscribe button. It costs nothing, but means everything to this mission of spreading ancient wisdom for modern times. Thank you for watching. Stay strong, stay focused, and embrace the Stoic life. See you in the next video.